Theoretically, I have 2 completed manuscripts. Don't know when I ever thought that was gonna work. Hello everyone, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel. It's getting that time of year again. The time where we all focus in on our goals for the future coming year, potentially our goals and our systems to make those goals work. More on that later for me. And you know, it's also the time of year to just kind of feel reflective. And I stumbled upon my goals from 2015. 5 years ago, a completely different lifetime for me, honestly. I was living in a different place. I was surrounded by different friends nearby. I was working a completely different job. My lifestyle was completely different. Anyways, I found these goals, and in fact, I found a section that I titled Dream Writer Job. As I am now working for myself, mostly as a writer, I figured it would be kind of fun to go over that. Reminisce a little bit. Yes, I have not looked at these yet, so who knows. Other things I have in these 2015 goals are better physical health, better mental health, and exploration. So we're gonna focus on the dream writer job, and then I'll tell you any notable things in those other categories. My dream writer job has six goals. The first, win NaNoWriMo 2015. I actually won this past year. It wasn't on my official goals, but it should have been. I also stumbled upon my 2016 winner's certificate, so it was really only the years 2014 and 2016 when I was at my corporate job that I won NaNoWriMo. And I've made the point, as I lost NaNoWriMo this year, I made the point that, you know, NaNoWriMo, when I was working corporate, was the time that I wrote the most. And so then to fail it some years sometimes was a little bit disheartening, but in the way that it's like, I really tried, but I am swamped sort of thing. So it was one of these where I know every year I made that a goal, and you know, apparently 2014 and 2016 it worked. I'll let you know, 2015 it did not. I continue saying, it was something I absolutely 100% knew I wanted to accomplish. Partially because it's so fun, but also partially because I was reinvigorated after I failed the year before in 2013. Also working corporate, also failed. I've been doing NaNoWriMo officially for 7 years, 8 years, question mark, ever since I joined the site. But I've been doing it unofficially before. There's nothing quite like the pain of failing something you've previously succeeded at, especially probably entirely because I knew it was not only all my fault, but hinged on my own stinking plain laziness. I was not very kind to pass me. This is very funny, especially as work started getting more and more intense as the years progressed, that it makes sense that my mindset on that would change. What I've also noticed is just the way I talk to myself in all of my goal setting has changed substantially. It's kind of fun. The second goal was win Camp NaNoWriMo 2015. I've tried this several times over the last few years, never successfully. I'm not sure if this is because there's a smaller group of people participating or what, but that's certainly not a valid excuse, so I will try again. Do you hear me? If I succeed, and just like with Nana, there's really no reason for me not to except my own stinking plain laziness, then I'll have completed 2 manuscripts, and that should be the main goal in itself. But I'm going to keep it split like this for ease of comparison. Okay, so the goal really was to have 2 completed manuscripts, which when we get down to the other goals, you'll see I've learned a lot about goal setting in this. And in fact, how I think it's important maybe not to even have like whole year goals that hinge on each other. Does that make sense? Because the next goal, number 3, is revise/edit a manuscript. I'm splitting this up because I've never actually succeeded at this before. It's a super important part of the writing process, and many professional authors consider themselves killer revisers, not necessarily the best first drafters. That's a great distinction to make in the next ladder on the rung I need to climb. For the record, that is still my favorite like aha moment, because so many writers, we are constantly comparing ourselves to the books that we have read, not admitting, not letting ourselves admit that of course these have been edited by several people, several professionals. They've been marketed by several professionals. Countless hours have been spent on these books, not just by the author. And you know, we want to compare our first draft to the final drafts, and it's not a fair comparison. And so then when I heard these authors be like, I actually write pretty shitty first drafts, but I'm really good at revising and I'm really good at sticking with it. And that was definitely like a, oh, okay. I think I probably heard that this year at one of the book festivals I went to, but you see the building thing I'm talking about, right? So when Camp NaNoWriMo and when NaNoWriMo, theoretically I have 2 completed manuscripts. Don't know when I ever thought that was gonna work. So you can tell my kind of naivety here. And then revise and edit one of those manuscripts, all within 2015. And then 4 continues with a ... from the last one. Revise and edit a manuscript ... To the point I'm willing and want to share it with my first reader, my mama. And this would be the even next rung. New eyes can spot things I never would have seen before. And obviously if I'm someday hoping to have millions of readers, I gotta start with my first. So I still think this is actually kind of a fair thing. I do tend to give stuff to my mom to read as like an alpha reader, just to like kind of gauge what she's feeling, if there truly is any big stuff. But for the most part, she's pretty like supportive and positive. She does catch some things, which is very nice of her, but really it's just nice to have someone in your corner who's gonna hype you up no matter what. I think you really need that. Then you expand to people who read in the genre. I think that's so important. I'm not saying that like if you only have beta readers or critique partners who don't write in the genre, I do think that that's better than nothing, but there's a lot of asterisks you need to take with that. So things I've learned along the way, but it's true. You gotta start with your first. 6 is hella long. Okay, 5. Take criticism, make changes, complete a new draft, then lather, rinse, repeat with even more readers. Again, this isn't a bad process. None of this is bad. Why did I think I could do it in 1 year though? Why? This is the kind of thing where you're just setting yourself up for failure. Number 6, hella long. Complete the final draft of the story. Again, why did I think I could do this in a year? Then squeal with delight and tell all the people I love that I've succeeded in something I love and wonderfulness will bring upon me. All caps. Something important to note is that I'm not making it a goal this year to query agents. No, of course not. Just like finish a book and edit it and revise it multiple times. Do you remember self? When you snickered or sneered or whatever at your friends who had been writing and rewriting but still not revising the same story they'd been working on since they were kids, and you thought they need to move past that in order to become the famous novelists they want to be. They actually have to complete a full first draft. Well, same here, kiddo. You've got the first draft, or 0 draft, if we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, down. But that still means you have the second and third and fourth, etc. to go through before you're really ready to query an agent. That's a lot of important steps I've been trying to boil down into 1 year when I'd never done them before. Is that not what I was trying to do in this? Once I completed that first step so many of my friends struggled with, wasn't it easy for me to do it again? I'd already gotten past the hard part, the learning curve, the doubts, all the parts where I couldn't believe in myself, though obviously, as mentioned about Nano 13 above, it's not infallible, and could do it again and again and again. So now I just have to do it again, with revisions, edits, and feedbacks. Ref. I don't know what that was supposed to be. That'll be the theme of 2015. Oh, revisions, edits, feedback. Ref. I'm very clever. Anyways, it's just very funny for me to look at this. Last edit was on January 1st, 2015, and the confidence with which I had I would do this. I will have to look at the dates. I did not fully revise, like beginning to end. I started a lot of revisions. I don't think I fully revised a manuscript until I'd already quit my corporate job, which is to say that I've only been able to like unlock that skill set for a few years now, and that's not even getting farther along, right? So ref. What I loved though was that even 2015, I was like, my dream is to be a writer. I remember telling people this in high school, not a lot of people because I was very nervous, but I remember a doctor asked me and I was like, I'm never gonna see this doctor again. I can tell her that I want to be a writer. And she kind of tilted her head and like stuck up her nose a little bit, and I was like, oh sweetie, you know? And I don't think I told anyone that ever again. I created an on-campus writing group, and so once you're surrounded by writers, it's okay to tell other people like, I kind of want to be one when I grow up. But even on my 2015 goals, I still had a lot to learn, but I had learned that I couldn't just start a book from scratch and then query an agent that same year. For me, it's really so funny to look at these goals. I think this should prove how much we don't change. A lot of these goals are still goals that I have now, like number 5 on here is be able to touch my toes. I still want to be able to touch my toes. I can't touch my toes. I shall demonstrate for you. Not close. Zelda, I'm not close. Oh, I can touch a Zelda though. I can touch a Zelda though. But I did do some of these. I want to be able to do a pull-up. That's my goal for this year. I'm so close. Better mental health. Number 1, become conversationally fluent in Spanish. Still a goal. But again, the biggest difference here is in 2015, I was living in Dallas. I was working a corporate job, and I was still, I wouldn't say excited, as I was doing things like this on the side. And I even, in this whole 2015 goals folder, I have like ways to quit my job and travel for a year. But I was still kind of trying to work up the corporate ladder. I was living on my own, which I loved. my own apartment. It was glorious. And I was young. How old was I in 2015? I was 22 and a half at the time that I wrote this. And I'd already been working for a couple years. So it's just interesting. And I have a lot of like sympathy for past me because this was still when I was hopeful. So I think if I went to my other 2016 goals, should I do that really quickly? I think you can probably see the progression. Yeah, literally the first one is take better care of myself. The third subcategory is work toward my long-term goals as an author. Write every day with a goal of 750 words per day that I might increase to 2,000 a day in later months. I wanted to do weekly blog posts about travel-related, current issue-related book reviews, cool updates. And I wanted to have something for readers to review by March 1st. Nano-style January and part of Feb review in this send, which gonna tell you I did not do. 2016 goals part 2. Oh, and then I changed it. Yeah, have something for readers to review by September 30th. So while I do have a lot of sympathy for past me, the work I eventually did, that past me ramped up to, did allow me to be here. I'm still, of course, not exactly where I want to be at, but I don't know that such a place exists, right? I think truly this is one example where it is all about the journey and not the destination, because so many authors, you achieve like a New York Times bestseller and then the bar and the rung is all that higher. Like, you better get it next time. Next time you should have a starred review. Next time you need to have this, this, and this. So the journey. And again, if anything I've learned from this is that I'm considerably kinder to myself and over time have become slightly more realistic. I want you to note this when I inevitably talk about my 2021 goals. Yes. But please do comment down below. Let me know where you were at 5 years ago. Let me know what your goals were 5 years ago. Do you keep track of your goals every year? And if you do, did you have dream writer goals? Is that something that you've always known you wanted? Or is this something that you've learned over the past couple of years that you wanted? I know a lot of people have refound their love for writing in recent years. So yeah, let me know. And is it fun for you to reflect on where you were at 5 years ago? Is there one thing in those 5 years that you're especially proud of? But that is going to be it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all very soon with a new video. Bye. It's built very soon with a new video.